So as you can see guys, we are going to start this analysis by looking at the price action of Bitcoin right now in a daily time frame, and along with that we are going to use this Bollinger Band, because when volatility falls to low levels and Bollinger Band starts narrowing like this here in our case, right, that's when we see this squeeze in a Bollinger Band. And what does that actually mean? So in our case, the volatility squeeze is in play, and that can be seen clearly guys. This is actually indicating a significant move could be on the line in the upcoming days or weeks for Bitcoin. So that's why as long as this squeeze is going to last, the bigger or the significant the move is going to be. Because if you look in the previous Bitcoin price action, whenever we have seen this volatility squeeze or this Bollinger Band narrowing happening, and it lasted more than at least 2 to 3 weeks guys, after that we have seen some very nice movement playing out for Bitcoin. Because in the past Bitcoin price action, you can see this squeeze here lasted almost like 43 days, right? And after that you can see breaking above the upper band usually indicates there is a high probability of move here in an upper duration, and this is exactly what we witnessed in the price action. For example, in 2019 December, we can see we did have this consolidation type of scenario. The Bollinger Band squeeze lasted 28 days, and after that, as soon as the price started breaking the upper band, it also started this really nice move here in an upper duration. But you can see here, if we go backward and look at this example, this squeeze also lasted more than like 50 days, right? So after this squeeze here, the price here was not able to break the upper band but the lower band, and as soon as it started breaking below the lower band, you can see the trend here also started continuing to the downward direction. Again, volatility squeeze or this Bollinger Band squeeze, and as soon as we broke out of this upper line, the price also started hitting in an upper direction. So that's why guys, in our case right now, this squeeze is clearly been seen here, and it is also indicating that's the reason why the price of Bitcoin right now is seeing more of a range bound scenario. And also please take this in mind, if this squeeze is going to last longer, right, let me show you with this date range, because if this squeeze is at least going to last around like, let's say 3 weeks, we are looking around 3 weeks, so this means around this 20 to 26th of July, and between that period the price here should be ready to show a significant move. So let's see which side it is going to be. If this is going to break here towards the upper band area, then there is a scenario where the price is going to see an impulsive move. But if the lower band is going to get broken, then we should be prepared for another pullback type of scenario. So let's see how this one is going to play out for Bitcoin, because in a bigger time frame the price of Bitcoin is showing different scenario. Let me show you that. And also guys, I would really appreciate if you could take just 2 seconds of your time and destroy that like button. And for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So now if we look at the price action of Bitcoin here in a weekly time frame, we can see I have used this moving averages, RSI line, MACD line, TSI, true strength indicator, and also this awesome oscillator to identify the possible trend direction and also the momentum switch. Because if you look at this price structure here in a weekly time frame, as I have already talked about this scenario plenty of time in a video, whenever the price of Bitcoin has started this downward rally, right, with each and every top here, whenever we have seen this downward rally has always found a strong support at this 50 weekly moving average. This orange line had a bounce, and as soon as it broke the orange line, that confirmed the downtrend, and also this bear market which brought us all the way towards the 200 weekly moving average. And as soon as the price found support at the 200 weekly moving average, we started another impulsive move here in an upper direction. So what does this actually mean is that breaking this 50 weekly moving average could be indication the actual downtrend is going to begin, and price could be getting gravitated here towards the 200 weekly moving average before starting another new impulsive movement. Because you can see here, similar scenario, found support at this 50 weekly moving average, but when the price was unable to find support at the 50 weekly moving average, the price started continuing here to the downward direction. What I'm actually trying to show you here is that in our case guys, you can see here, since the price of Bitcoin is right now holding its ground around this 50 weekly moving average. So if this 50 weekly moving average is going to get broken without this relief rally type of scenario, right, then we have to be careful, because the downward price movement could be again getting gravitated towards this red line, and this red line is the 200 weekly moving average. But now what I'm also going to do here is I am going to show you this price movement along with this indicators here to the downside. Because if we look at this RSI here enter the overbought area, right, where the market was at this peak. And when the trend started heading to the downside, you can see in the MACD, we also saw this bearish MACD cross. And if you look at the TSI, it is now heading towards the negative territory, and which is also showing us the bears are more in control. And if you look to the downside, this awesome oscillated bullish or bearish force is determining the market. And in our case, you can see since this is now heading towards the negative territory, it is also indicating now the bearish force could be dominating the market. So right now the indicators in a weekly time frame is also showing a weakness, and that can be seen very, very clearly in the price action of Bitcoin. So that's why, guys, we are going to wait for a proper trend direction before placing any trades, because in the past Bitcoin price action, whenever we have seen this similar scenario unfolding, for example from 2017-18, this bear market, right, you can see overbought area, MACD also flashed this bearish cross. You can see here, right, bearish MACD cross in a weekly time frame, and at the same time TSI bearish crossover, indicating the bears are more in control. And also here to the downside, you can see this awesome oscillator, this histogram, indicating the bearish force is dominating the market. So that's why you can see after that the price also started heading to the downside, and this similar scenario also happened here in 2013. So that's why, guys, that's why in a weekly time frame the price here of Bitcoin does looks very, very weak. So we have to be careful. But unless the price is not breaking below this important line of support and also to the upside, the resistance line, it is too early to call it a bull market continuation pattern or a reversal pattern. So for that, what I also showed you is this Wyckoff's market cycle. And according to this Wyckoff's market cycle, in our case, if the price of Bitcoin is going to follow this similar scenario, right, then you can see we are seeing more of a consolidation, because this consolidation could be a redistribution. But before we call this a redistribution, what we have said, the price here must break below this support line, which is lying around 30,000 price range. So if this 30,000 support is going to get broken, only then we are going to say this is an actual redistribution phase from Wyckoff before price again start forming this another accumulation phase. And if this is going to be accumulation phase and not a redistribution phase, guys, direct this accumulation phase, right, then we also want this price here at any cost to break out of this 41,000 resistance line and find support above it. If that is going to happen, then this is not going to be called as a redistribution and more of a accumulation phase before price again starts its journey here to the upside. So that's why unless the price is not below this key level of support and resistance, we are not going to call a bull market continuation or a bear market scenario for Bitcoin. So please keep that in mind. And if you want to look at this price structure here right now in a bit different way, no problem, you can see it, guys. So this is again in a daily time frame. What I've actually done now is I have included this descending channel type of scenario, because if you look at the price structure here right now, this is actually showing us that, hey, if this is going to act as a lower highs, lower lows continuation pattern, then the price of Bitcoin could actually see some sort of a movement that could bring us around this upper line area of the descending channel, but again continue here to the downward direction, forming this lower highs, lower lows continuation pattern. But if the price here does shows any sort of impulsive move, because right now you can see here this price structure here does looks like a really nice symmetrical triangle type of scenario, right? So if this symmetrical triangle is going to see any sort of a breakout or any sort of a movement here right now, guys, then you can see here the price target is pretty simple. So if this is going to be any sort of a movement here to the upside, then we are focusing around the 37,500, 38,000 price range here to the upside as our potential target in a short term. And if this is going to be a pullback to the downside, right, and price is not going to find support at the lower line area, then again you can see 29,000 price range could be tested. So that's why please be careful, because right now the price here is not showing a possible trend direction. It's more of a range bound market, because I just showed you with this Bollinger Band. Bollinger Band squeezing in indicates the volatility is low at this level. That is also a reason why we are expecting more of this range bound type of scenario playing out for Bitcoin. So unless the price of Bitcoin is not breaking this key level of support here to the downside, or also the resistance to the upside, we will be looking this as a more of a range bound type of scenario for Bitcoin. So these are some of the scenarios I thought sharing with you in today's episode. I hope you guys like it. I hope this video was helpful enough. If that's the case, then please hit the like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye, guys.